Let's close our eyes. Pay attention to our posture. Make sure we are comfortable. Breathe in lots of positive energy through your nose. And breathe out through your mouth. Breathe in lots of love, faith, and integrity. And breathe out any discomforts associated with love, faith, or integrity. Breathe in peace and prosperity. Feel the abundance and calmness. Breathe out any negative associations with peace and prosperity. Breathe in joy and care. Feel the bliss in every cell of your body. And breathe out any sorrows or uncared feelings. Resume normal breathing. Let's invoke our ancestors, angels, archangels, our mentors. Seek their support, seek their guidance, feel them in your space. Invoke Mahavatar Babaji, all the great masters, the healing and loving masters. Your personal or family deities. Seek their blessings to help us align with our life path and life purpose. Invoke your higher consciousness, radical consciousness. Seek to align with the higher consciousness and radical consciousness. Feel the alignment. Invoke the prime resource energy. Feel that oneness. Oneness with everything and everyone in and around you. Feel the vibrations of oneness in your body. Become aware of the physical reality around you. Feel the connection with Mother Earth. Seek to ground yourself, to settle down with perfect alignment with the universe. This helps us be aware of our thoughts and feelings and to address any adverse thoughts and feelings to make our day a bright one. Thank you. The reading for today is BLL 12. BLL 12, left opening up with fair distribution of Brunt Chakra. It's left opening up with fair redistribution of Brunt Chakra. It is a reminder to continue remaining open by distributing the Brunt. It is located on the outer heels of the left leg. Some of the keywords that may help us get in tune with this chakra are a reluctance to remain open due to possibility of bearing the brunt, reluctance to remain open due to possibility of bearing brunt of others' experiential needs, or reluctance to remain open due to the possibility of bearing the social, emotional, financial, political, or ancestral brunt. Do not think of withdrawing at this moment. Continue to remain open to various experiences, possibilities, and people. We have been doing well in the past. If we are experiencing a possible brunt of responsibilities or unpleasantness, as we remain open and persistent, think of redistributing the responsibilities or unpleasantness in order to ease out our way forward so that we persistently and consistently put our best foot forward in our chosen direction as we remain open to various possibilities. We do not have to continue bearing the brunt in order to create lasting impressions. We need to learn to continue putting our best foot forward by redistributing the loads of life. So let's see what comes up as we do some R5 statements this morning. Anyone willing to recite after me? All right, I shall be, yeah, just, okay, great. I R5 my need to delegate.
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 I R5 my need to take the brunt.
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 I R5 my need to, I R5 my reluctance to bear the social brunt.
I R5 my reluctance to bear the social brunt.
I R5 my reluctance to bear the social brunt.
I R5 my reluctance to bear the social brunt.
I R5 my need to bear the social brunt.
I R5 my need to bear the social brunt. The reluctance to bear the social brunt.
I R5 my inability to delegate the 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 brunt.
I R5 my inability to communicate to people around me.
I R5 my inability to communicate to people around me.
I R5 my inability to communicate to people around me.
I R5 my inability to communicate to people around me.
I R5 my inability to communicate to people around me.
I R5 my inability to communicate to people around me.
I R5 my belief that people do not understand me.
I archive my belief that people do not understand me.
I archive my belief that people do not understand me.
I archive my belief that people do not understand me.
I archive my belief that people do not understand me.
I archive my belief that people do not understand me.
I archive my fear of being snubbed.
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 I archive my association of bearing the brunt with being snubbed.
I archive my association of bearing the brunt with being snubbed.
I archive my association of bearing the brunt with being snubbed.
I archive my association of bearing the brunt with being snubbed.
I archive my association of bearing the brunt with being snubbed.
I archive my association of bearing the brunt with being snubbed.
I see myself bearing the brunt.
I see myself bearing the brunt.
I feel myself bearing the brunt.
I feel myself bearing the brunt.
I acknowledge myself bearing the brunt.
I acknowledge myself bearing the brunt.
I love and accept myself bearing the brunt.
I love and accept myself bearing the brunt.
I honor myself bearing the brunt.
I honor myself bearing the brunt.
I honor the brilliance in myself bearing the brunt.
I honor the brilliance in myself bearing the brunt.
I am myself bearing the brunt.
I am myself bearing the brunt.
And myself bearing the brunt is me.
And myself bearing the brunt is me.
I recognize me bearing the brunt.
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 I archive my need to solve my need to bear the brunt.
I archive my need to solve my need to bear the brunt.
I dissolve my need to bear the brunt.
I dissolve my need to bear the brunt.
I resolve my need to bear the brunt.
I resolve my need to bear the brunt.
I co-solve my need to bear the brunt.
I co-solve my need to bear the brunt.
I super-solve my need to bear the brunt.
I super-solve my need to bear the brunt.
I archive my association of bearing the brunt with being a martyr.
I archive my association of bearing the brunt with being a martyr.
I archive my association of bearing the brunt with being martyr.
I archive my association of bearing the brunt with being a martyr.
I archive my association of bearing the brunt with being martyr.
I archive my association of bearing the brunt with being a martyr.
I archive my association of bearing the brunt with being accepted.
I archive my association of bearing the brunt with being accepted.
I archive my association of bearing the brunt with being accepted.
I archive my association of bearing the brunt with being accepted.
I archive my association of bearing the brunt with being accepted.
I archive my association of bearing the brunt with being accepted.
I archive my fear of being myself.
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 I archive my sadness of not being myself.
I archive my sadness of me not being myself.
I archive my sadness of 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 not being myself.
I archive my frustration of not being able to delegate my brunt.
I find my frustration of not being able to delegate my brunt.
I find my frustration of not being able to delegate my brunt.
I find my frustration of not being able to delegate my brunt.
I find my frustration of not being able to delegate my brunt.
I find my frustration of not being able to delegate my brunt.
I find my perception of 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 brunt.
I find my need to understand that brunt helps me grow.
I find my need to understand that brunt helps me to grow.
I find my association of brunt with growth.
I find my association of brunt with growth.
I find my association of bearing the brunt with growth.
I find my association of bearing the brunt with growth.
I find my association of bearing brunt with growth.
I find my association of bearing the brunt with growth.
I find my association of bearing the brunt with growth.
I find my association of bearing the brunt with growth.
I find my need to associate growth with delegating brunt.
I find my need to associate growth with delegating the brunt.
I find my need to associate growth with delegating the brunt.
I find my need to associate growth with delegating bearing the brunt. Delegating the brunt.
Yeah, correct. I find my need to associate growth with delegating the brunt.
I find my need to associate growth with delegating the brunt.
I grow with inspiration.
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 I grow by delegating the brunt.
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 I grow by collaborating with everyone.
I grow by collaborating
With everyone.
with everyone.
I grow with collaborating. I grow by collaborating with everyone.
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 We grow together.
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 Any thoughts? Any feelings?
And can we address the pain also? I archive the pain.
I archive the pain of bearing the brunt.
Yeah, and in that region, the physical pain.
Say that again.
The physical pain, if it is in that area, the left.
Okay. Okay. So where do you feel it now?
It's in the heels and adjacent areas.
Okay. I see the physical pain in my heel. Does that sound okay?
Yes.
Okay.
I see the physical pain in my heel.
I feel the physical pain in my heel.
I feel the physical pain in my heel.
I acknowledge the physical pain in my heel.
I acknowledge the physical pain in my heel.
I love and accept the physical pain in my heel.
I love and accept the physical pain in my heel.
I honor the pain in my heel.
I honor the physical pain in my heel.
I honor the brilliance in my physical pain in my heel.
I honor the brilliance in the physical pain in my heel.
I am the physical pain in my heel.
I am the physical pain in my heel.
And the physical pain in my heel is me.
And the physical pain in the heel is me.
I recognize the physical pain in my heel.
I recognize the physical pain in my heel.
I recognize the physical pain in my heel.
I recognize the physical pain in
I recognize the physical pain in my heel.
I recognize the physical pain in my heel.
How do you feel now?
Yeah, much lighter.
Yeah.
The pain is shifting. I have this problem of pains, but the heels are okay now.
Yeah. Yeah, I still don't feel settled with this. So I don't know, I'm missing something. You feel anything? Let's see, there's a little bit more reading. As we move forward to explore the path of progress, we may find ourselves bearing the various brunt as we open ourselves to various possibilities and people. Some of these brunt are obvious and known to us. Delegate if we can. Redistribute if we can, or just admit them under the loving care of radical consciousness. If there are tangible brunts like the energetic effects of ancestral karmas, oaths, vows, curses, adverse effects of others, ill thoughts, or evil plans, it would be a great idea to admit them under the care of higher consciousness or radical healing consciousness. I guess we'll do that. I admit
I admit
my association of remaining open.
my
Okay,
association. Yes,
I'll just read it once and let's simplify it a little bit. I admit my association of remaining open with the possibility of bearing the brunt under the loving care of radical consciousness. Does that sound all right?
I admit my association of remaining open with the possibility of bearing the brunt under the loving care of radical consciousness.
Yeah. I admit my association of remaining open with the possibility of bearing the brunt under the loving care of radical consciousness.
I admit my association of remaining open with the possibility of bearing the brunt under the loving care of radical consciousness.
I admit my association of remaining open with the possibility of bearing the brunt under the loving care of radical consciousness.
I admit my association of remaining open with the possibility of bearing the brunt under the loving care of radical consciousness.
I admit my need to bear the brunt under the loving care of radical consciousness.
I admit my need to bear the brunt under the loving care of radical consciousness.
I admit my need to bear the brunt under the loving care of radical consciousness.
I admit my need to bear the brunt under the loving care of radical consciousness.
I admit my need to bear the brunt under the loving care of radical consciousness.
I admit my need to bear the care of radical consciousness.
I admit the reasons for bearing the brunt under the loving care of radical consciousness.
I admit the reasons for bearing the brunt under the loving care of radical consciousness.
I admit the reasons for bearing the brunt under the loving care of radical consciousness.
I admit the reasons for bearing the brunt under the loving care of radical consciousness.
I admit the reasons for bearing the brunt under the loving care of radical consciousness.
I admit the reasons for bearing the brunt under the loving care of radical consciousness.
I continue to remain open to delegate.
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 I continue to remain open by delegating.
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 Continue to remain open by delegating.
How does it feel?
Feels good, feels good. And we can have some pre-programmed grunts also,
Okay,
ancestral and pre-programmed grunts.
yeah, I give me the statement, please.
I solve, or I archive my ancestral and pre-programmed.
Yeah, I archive my past life pre-programming of ancestral oaths, vows, and curses.
I archive my past life pre-programming of ancestral oaths, vows, and curses.
I archive my ancestral pre-programming. I don't know, I'm getting stuck here. I archive my ancestral pre-programming oaths, vows, and curses.
I archive my ancestral pre-programming of oaths, vows, and curses.
I archive my ancestral pre-programming of oaths, vows, and curses.
I archive my ancestral pre-programming of oaths, vows, and curses.
I archive my pre-programming of ancestral oath, vows, and curses, preventing me from delegating the brunt.
I archive my ancestral pre-programming of oaths, vows, and curses, preventing me from delegating the brunt.
I archive my pre-programming of ancestral oaths, vows, and curses, preventing me from delegating the brunt.
I archive my pre-programming of ancestral oaths, vows, and curses, preventing me from delegating the brunt.
I archive my ancestral pre-programming of oaths, vows, and curses, preventing me from delegating the brunt.
I archive my pre-programming of ancestral oaths, vows, and curses, preventing me from delegating the brunt.
I archive my pre-programming of ancestral oaths, vows, and curses, preventing me from being open.
I archive my pre-programming of ancestral oaths, vows, and curses, preventing me from being open.
I archive my pre-programming of ancestral oaths, vows, and curses, preventing me from being open.
I archive my pre-programming of ancestral oaths, vows, and curses, preventing me from being open.
I archive my ancestral pre-programming of oaths, vows, and curses, preventing me from being open.
I archive my pre-programming of ancestral oaths, vows, and curses, preventing me from being open.
Anything else coming up? The more I delegate and am open, the more I grow.
The more I delegate and open, the more I grow.
The more I delegate and be open, the more I grow.
The more I delegate and be open, the more I grow.
The more I delegate and be open, the more I grow.
The more I delegate and be open, the more I grow.
Is that okay for affirmation today?
Yes. Okay.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. It was great healing.